Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I am Saurav Ghosh and this is going to be the part 3 on the topic accounting ratios, and here we will be discussing the things which are related. Means we will, in the first part I have discussed you the chart of accounting ratios. In part 2 we, as you can see, we have completed in the earlier part. We have discussed the formula relating to each and every ratio, and now in this part we will finally be moving on to solving the sums which comes in the exams. These are important for solving the sums and for even 1 mark question. But now we will moving on to the main part, that is to solve. Here the formula that I have given, you can count the number of formulas. I think I have given almost 20 to 25 formulas, and we will solve each and every sum of that particular formula. We are not going to skip a single thing, because if we skip, it means nothing but we are not doing a great work in the foundation. This is the foundation level. We have to work very hard. Sum 1. Now calculate first ratio that we will start with, current ratio. We will not do a single sum, we will do almost 3 to 4 sums per ratio, so that we can build concept as well as confidence. Current ratio, calculate current ratio. Information that is given: inventory 55,000, cash 37,000, creditor 48,000, debtor is 40,000, debtor. After that, bills receivable 20,000, bills receivable 20,000. After that, advance tax, advance tax 4,000 rupees. Next item, furniture 40,000 rupees. Bills payable 28,000. Bills payable 28,000. Bank overdraft 4,000. Then accrued interest 4,000. Accrued interest 4,000. Now, whenever I say the word current ratio, the first thing that should straight away strike to your mind is nothing but current ratio is equal to current assets divided by current liabilities. This is the first thing which should come to your mind when I speak the word current ratio. That is the technique of doing. Solution. We will do the sum in a proper and systematic way. First of all, we will give a heading: calculation, so that the examiner even can't cut 0.5 marks in our presentation. We will not allow him. Why will we allow him to cut marks? We will present it in such a manner that he or she will be highly impressed by our presentation. Calculation of current ratio. Underline it. Now you write the formula. Current ratio is equals to, yes, you have got it right, current assets divided by current liabilities, LIABILITIES, current liabilities, current assets divided by current liabilities. Now we have to find out current assets. Current assets is equals to, see, from the things that are given in the question, I am not going to here directly write the amount, because if I directly write the amount, you will just be confused that what amount I am writing here, and it will be take time to you understand, like matching the amount. So I will write the name of the items: cash plus bills receivable plus advance tax plus accrued interest, ACCURED, interest, INTEREST, plus debtor, 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 plus inventory, INVENTORY, TAOTOI, doesn't know, whatever is given in the question you write the same thing. Spelling, it's not English exam. Now write the amount. Cash, the amount of cash was 37,000 rupees, plus bills receivable was 20,000 rupees. Again, advance tax was rupees 4,000, accrued interest was rupees 4,000, debtor was 40,000, and finally inventory was 55,000. Sum it up, you will get the answer as 1,60,000. Now numerator done, the amount related to numerator is completed, we have got the amount. Next, denominator, current liabilities. Current liabilities is equals to creditors plus bills payable plus bank overdraft. Simple. If I am not wrong, no, specific formula was not given, but creditor plus bills payable plus bank overdraft, only 3 items are included: creditors plus bills payable plus bank overdraft. Write the amount: 48,000 creditor, bills payable 28,000, bank overdraft 4,000. Sum it up, you will get the answer as 80,000. Actually, you quite often don't get this, like directly, means round figure answers. In some cases you get the answers in points. So required, therefore required current ratio is equals to 1,60,000 divided by 80,000, 2:1. I hope all of you have understand what I have tried to explain. Now if you have understood this sum, the video is not completed. We will now move on to the next sum. We will try to cover as many sums as possible in a single video. For this reason the length may increase, but as I presently have this Wi-Fi facility at my home, so there is no problem from my side to upload the video. But if you face problem like if you can't do so many sums in a single video, you just pause it and do these sums, and after a while you just continue doing the sums. Because if I make more videos, like it will be a time consuming process, and more number of videos I have to be published, means I have to make more videos. So apart from increasing the number, I must increase the quality as well as quantity, so which is important. So let's move on to the next sum. You see, a single sum takes almost, what to say, it almost take 10 minutes to solve one sum. And next sum, in this sum, the sum number 2, here we are going to calculate two things. Here we are going to calculate current assets as well, current ratio as well as quick ratio. So means it is sum number 2, but we will be doing two sums in a single sum. Like you see, sum 2. Calculate current ratio and quick ratio from the following information. From the following information. Sundry debtor, ₹1,00,000. Inventory, ₹40,000. Marketable securities means short term securities. Marketable securities, ₹20,000. Next, cash, 30,000. Next, prepaid expenses, ₹10,000. Next, bills payable, 50,000. Bills payable, 50,000. Sundry creditor, 20,000. Sundry creditor, 20,000. Outstanding expenses, ₹15,000. Bank overdraft, ₹15,000. Like, this is the information which is given to you all for the purpose of calculating current ratio as well as quick ratio. But they may give you more information, like machinery, 1,50,000, building 2 lakh, but that is nothing. These are assets. Means this will not be affecting your ratio of current ratio as well as quick ratio. So they may try to distract you. That's always their intention, to test you in the best possible way, and you please don't fall in the trap. These are machinery, building, these are non-current assets. So in either of the following way, it is not going to affect your current ratio as well as quick ratio, because here we basically consider the current assets. That is our motive while calculating. That is the process we follow. First of all, we will do a heading. First of all, we will calculation of current ratio. Current ratio is equals to current assets divided by current liabilities. Now, how will you calculate current assets? Current assets is equals to sundry debtor plus inventory plus marketable securities plus cash plus prepaid expense. Now we will write the amount of this of the sundry debtor of the particulars that we have stated now. 1 lakh plus 40,000 plus 20,000 plus 30,000 plus 10,000. Close the bracket. Sum it up. We will get the answer as 2 lakh. Current assets, we have got the amount of current assets. Now we will move on to calculate current liabilities. Current liabilities is equals to bills payable Now you see, while calculating quick ratio, if nothing is mentioned in the question, consider it as temporary arrangement. If nothing is mentioned, I repeat again, if nothing is mentioned in the question like bank overdraft is permanent or temporary arrangement, you consider it as temporary arrangement. If permanent arrangement, it will be clearly stated in the question. That is not at all your lookout. Your lookout is to see whether something is written or not. Yes, nothing is written. It means we will treat it, we will consider it as temporary arrangement. This is not needed in this situation, like we don't need in the case of current ratio, but in the case of quick ratio we need it. Plus sundry creditor plus outstanding expenses plus bank overdraft. Now we will put the amount 50,000 rupees plus 20,000 plus 15,000 plus 15,000. Close the bracket. Sum it up. You will get the answer as 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh rupees. Now we will calculate current ratio. Therefore, required current ratio is equals to rupees 2 lakh divided by 1 lakh. The answer that we are going to get is 2:1. First part is completed. We have successfully completed the first part. Now we will be moving on to the second part. That is, now we will calculate here quick ratio, because quick ratio, we have to calculate quick ratio, and in the case of quick ratio we don't need to calculate much, because you see quick ratio is nothing but quick assets, quick assets divided by current liabilities, and current liabilities we have already calculated. We just need to calculate quick assets, and the formula of quick assets is equals to current assets minus inventory minus prepaid expenses. We will first of all put the heading calculation of quick ratio. Calculation of quick ratio. Quick ratio is equals to quick assets divided by current liabilities. Current liabilities. Now everything is visible, so now I will basically turn the page. Quick assets is equals to current assets minus inventory minus prepaid expense, EXPEN. I am not writing the word SE just to continue in the next line. You understand it is prepaid expense. Current assets we have already calculated 2 lakh. Less inventory 40,000. Less prepaid expense 10,000. It is 440. Means 2 lakh minus 50,000. 2 lakh minus 50,000 is 1 lakh 50,000. 1 lakh 50,000 rupees you are going to get after you do the subtraction part. 1 lakh 50,000. You need current liabilities. Current liabilities we have already got. Current liabilities is equals to 1 lakh rupees. We will just calculate this, means formula we have already given. We will put as per the formula and we will get the answer. Therefore required quick ratio is equals to 1,50,000 rupees divided by 1 lakh rupees. It will be 1.5:1, or you can write it as, or 3:2 can also be written. Both are correct. But you see, some of make just leave the sum here by saying that the sum is fully completed. But sum is not fully completed. You have to write a note. When you follow an option that is given to you, you have to give a clear response or clear declaration, in my words, from your side, that what you have followed. Examiner knows everything, but in the case of solving, checking your answer paper, he will act like he doesn't know anything. So you have to make him very much clear about whatever you have done. So you see here, we will write a note. Bank overdraft has been considered as temporary, TEMPORARY, temporary arrangement. Now the sum is fully completed. You see, sums are quite big, as means calculation is not going to be so tough. Actually, the basic thing is you have to, it is a science as well as art. So you have to present it in a very prescribed manner, so that examiner gets highly impressed and you get marks for presentation. Most importantly, you get marks for presentation. So you can't miss any mark for this. Means if you ignore and move on, you can't get marks on the presentation. So now here in this video I will try my level best to cover all the three relating to short term solvency ratio. Short term solvency ratio, that is current ratio, quick ratio, now absolute liquid ratio. Next sum number 3. So basics can be covered in a video, but next we will move on to like more sums, more difficult sums of current ratio, quick ratio, absolute liquid ratio. So calculate calculate absolute liquid ratio from the following information. From the following information, just do it in this way. Particulars, amount, particulars, amount. If I do it in this way, it will be a bit systematic and means very systematic, and in the exam they also give in such a systematic manner only. Actually they don't give in like this way, like in para wise. I just give you in, means I just include more than I mean to say more than 1 to 2 items in a line, just to reduce the space capacity. And here they do not follow such things. In the question paper there is enough space, and they give you in a prescribed way so that it is easy for you all to understand. Sundry debtor. Sundry debtor. Amount relating to sundry debtor is 2 lakh rupees. 2 lakh. Inventory 80,000. Marketable securities marketable securities 40,000. Cash in hand 10,000. Cash in hand 10,000. Prepaid expense. Prepaid expense 20,000. Cash at bank 50,000. Other side, sundry creditor 1 lakh rupees. Debenture 1 lakh. Outstanding expenses 30,000. Outstanding expenses 30,000. Bank overdraft 20,000. And bills payable 40,000. Similar way, whenever the word term absolute liquid ratio comes to your mind, means you hear this term, the thing that must come to your mind at once is nothing but absolute liquid ratio is equals to absolute liquid assets divided by current liabilities. And the formula, there is a specific formula for calculating absolute liquid asset. The formula is absolute liquid asset is equals to cash in hand plus cash at bank plus marketable securities. Now we give the heading calculation of absolute liquid asset. Absolute liquid ratio, just a slip of tongue. In the formula you need asset. So absolute liquid ratio is equals to absolute liquid asset divided by current liabilities. You have to calculate absolute liquid asset. Absolute liquid asset is equals to cash in hand plus cash at bank plus marketable securities. So we will directly put the amount. Cash in hand was 10,000 rupees. Cash at bank was 50,000. Marketable securities 40,000. Close the bracket. Sum it up. You get the sum as 1 lakh rupees. This part is completed. Now I have to adjust the copy as per the camera. Current liabilities. You see, in the case of current liabilities, we include as per in this sum sundry creditor plus outstanding expenses plus bills payable plus bank overdraft. But you see, in the case of absolute liquid asset, the current liability, there is a formula for current liabilities. Current liabilities equals to current liabilities minus bank overdraft. So plus bank overdraft minus bank overdraft. That means ultimately bank overdraft is going to be cancelled. In simple way, in a simple manner, bank overdraft is going to be cancelled. So you write current liabilities is equals to sundry creditor plus outstanding expenses plus bills payable. Write the amount 1 lakh plus 30,000 plus bills payable plus 40,000. 1,70,000. Now we will straight away just put the formula. We will keep it as much simple as possible. Therefore required absolute liquid ratio is equals to absolute liquid asset. The amount of absolute liquid asset was 1 lakh rupees divided by current liabilities. The amount was 1,70,000 rupees. The ratio that we are going to get 10:17. You see, the sum is fully completed. No need of any note and all. But we will not stop here. We will be moving. We will do one more sum. We will do a short sum, not a lengthy sum, but a technical one. Whenever you see a short question, very short question in the exam, you don't think that the question will be a very easy one. You can easily be able to complete and that will be your cup of tea. No, this sum proves you wrong. The sum that we are now going to do. And when you get a very long question, don't be afraid. Because you see, when you read the question, in maximum cases the question turns out to be a very easy question. So I personally fear from this short question because these are like, what to say, low quantity but high quality, very high quality. See this sum. Sum 4. calculate current ratio from the following information. Total assets, total assets 4 lakh rupees. Fixed assets 2 lakh rupees. Capital employed rupees 3 lakhs. There is no long term investment. Done. Very short question. 1 2 3 4 5 lines, only 5 lines. Now, anyone have any idea, like if you already knew how to solve this sum, you go and comment me in the comment section, yes, that I already knew this is not so uncommon, like not so difficult and all, it's my cup of tea. You comment me in the comment section, and if you didn't recognize it at once, that also you comment me in the comment section. I want to know your opinions, what you have got, whether you have got a brief idea or not, what is your thinking regarding this particular topic, particular sum, so that I can, it is almost not possible to give you a little bit of personal attention if you don't show me your response. If you show me your response in the comment section, like what was the first thought that came to your mind, whether you went straight to the right path, or because I will solve it now, or you went to the wrong path, in which path you went, so that I can give you a bit personal attention, because I don't do any private tuition and all. This is not a money motive thing, but I can give you personal attention, like which you get in your private tuitions free of cost. Just your results and your understanding is important for me, as simple as that. And if you feel a bit like some uneasy to comment me your doubts and queries, because I know there are some kind of irritating and nonsense people who will start replying to your comments like, you don't understand this, you are such a foolish creature. That also I have arrangement. You go and follow me in Instagram. If you don't want to follow me, don't follow. You go and follow and message me, and then you unfollow me. Not a big deal problem. Not a problem for me. I don't want following. I just want to know your response. That is the thing. And I am also not active in Instagram at all. My friend uses my account. If he sees your message, he will inform me, and I will definitely get back to you. Now, see what information is given. Nothing is given. Nothing is given. But you see, when you do this corporate balance sheet, in the asset side you basically get two types: non-current assets, current assets. That's the two thing you get. And you see here, it is clearly written that there is no long-term investment. Means here the question of non-current assets doesn't arise. So nothing is given here, means fixed asset is given 2 lakh rupees. You see, total assets minus fixed assets is equals to current assets. Now you will ask me a question like, sir, where the hell did you put the non-current asset? You see, in this question it is clearly given there is no long-term investment. So the question of non-current asset doesn't arise. Fixed assets will take place. Like current assets is equals to total assets minus fixed assets, because non-current investment is nil. So 4 lakh rupees minus 2 lakh rupees. So current assets is 2 lakh. Now you see, like, assets we have got a brief idea, we have the knowledge, the total assets is given, but how we are going to calculate current liabilities? So there's a formula, if you know. Current liabilities is equals to total liabilities minus capital employed. So now you will ask me, from where I will get total liabilities, sir? It's not clearly given in the question. Like, from where I am going to get total liabilities? Think for some time. If necessary, you pause the video and think, and comment me whether you have got it correct or not. Some may do here up to correct, some may do here, some may do all the things correctly but may get the wrong answer. So you comment me where you made the mistake, how you did. I will get the point that there is the mistake, you need to correct in this way. I can give you the approach, like how to do, what to do. If you remember, in a balance sheet, always in a balance sheet, total assets is equals to total liabilities. Here indirectly it is given, indirectly total liabilities is given. Total assets is equals to total liabilities. If total assets is 4 lakh rupees, that means total liabilities is also rupees 4 lakh. So simple, but you need the knowledge. Minus 3 lakh rupees, 1 lakh. Now the sum will be easily completed. Therefore, required current ratio is equals to current assets divided by current liabilities. Like, current assets 2 lakh rupees, current liabilities 1 lakh. So ratio that we are going to get is 2:1. Sum is not fully completed, you have to write a note. In a balance sheet, total assets is equal to total liabilities. I hope each and everything is clear to you all. I tried my level best to explain you in the best possible way. I hope you have liked this video. If you have liked this video, if this video has helped you, please subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up, and comment me what I have said, whether you have understood or not. If you don't want to comment me these all things, whether you have got it or not, you just comment me whether you have understood my explanation or not, and what are the further changes that I shall made in my style of teaching, or in the way I do the video, like editing and all. So thanks for watching this video.